And we're live. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Joined today by none other than Mr. John MLD. How are you doing, sir?
Always honored to be acknowledged by you and on your show as usual. Thanks so much, man.
Indeed. Good to see you here, sir, as usual. Now, we are here obviously for the auspicious occasion that, and actually, what's happening there? That your course, or I mean, it's more than a course, really, isn't it? But your Masculine Empowerment Network is now open for new enrollments. Now, obviously, we've worked together on this for quite some time now, and it is an incredible resource for men. And so I wanted to get you on to just have a bit of a chat about what you're doing this time, how it's new, how it's different, what guys can hope to expect, but really on a broader level about leveling up as a man, because that's what all of this is about, really, isn't it? In this space and what we talk about and everything else.
Yeah. Well, what started off in 2019 was me launching my course Body Language Mastery, and my whole business plan and my whole business model was I'm just going to sell this course. And then I had mentioned also, by the way, I'm going to throw this in as a bonus, but we're going to have these question and answer webinars on Zoom. And if you have any questions about wanting to pick up girls and game and all this stuff in general, I'll be able to talk to you guys daily for 3 weeks. So I used to do 3 weeks. Remember I used to do that back in the day? 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I just thought people would buy the course and never want to really talk to me, right? But then I started realizing more and more guys were so completely lost in life, and they wanted to talk to an expert. They wanted to learn how to pick up girls. They wanted to learn how to get better. And I didn't realize that there was such a strong need for it. And now that has become the majority of what these guys have been looking for is actual mentorship in, the core four: money, muscles, game, frame. Because I think the average guy right now is so just misguided with the
Mm,
mainstream media putting out nothing but stuff bad for you. And I think men have already woken up to the majority of the mainstream media being terrible for them.
mm.
Now they're looking for answers,
Yeah, for sure. And
and that's
the great thing that you've always done, really, since back in the body language mastery days, is you've managed to assemble really the greatest lineup of experts in this space to talk to the guys.
yeah,
So it's not just you, although obviously your opinions, your insights, incredibly valuable for men, but almost more importantly than that, you've got this huge cast of other characters who are coming along to speak and to help out guys as well.
yeah. I actually have the lineup here. I'll put it on the screen for you guys.
Cool.
But this is what we're bringing there to the table. So, this is the Masculine Empowerment Network schedule. Okay, so what you're seeing right now, this is 20 webinar and training sessions for people to choose to attend. Okay, so we have things covering, for example, developer direction. He's talking about how to make money, learning how to learn how to code at home,
Yeah.
and turning this information enabled to getting a remote position, paying you within 3 years, six-figure salary, okay? With a job that's not gonna be able to be taken away from you by AI, right?
Mm,
We
mm.
have other stuff like, guys talking about wanting game. We have guys like Charlie here, Cultivate Crypto. We'll be talking about how to develop the crypto mindset and how to actually really learn and understand cryptocurrency, especially now when the markets are down, to know exactly
Yeah.
what you need to be doing. James Tusk and Troy Francis themselves will be talking on Friday the 13th, 9 a.m. Eastern, talk about night game mastery. I mean, we really are bringing everything to the table here for guys, whether it
Yeah.
be muscles game, inner game. I mean, we're having all of these experts assemble and teach one side. They'll teach a presentation, and then the other side is they'll answer questions from members in the audience. And I don't see anybody doing this, and I don't think anybody can replicate what we're doing because I have the best team, and there's really just it's just awesome. There's so many awesome people in this community.
Yeah. I mean, that lineup really is quite incredible, really. You've got everybody from, you've got Aaron Clary in there, obviously genius Boomer and Economist. You've got Rollo Tomasi. You've got Charlie Cultivate Crypto. I mean, it's just a great lineup of guys. Obviously, myself and James Tusk, we could talk a little bit about that. We're going to be doing a session on Friday the 13th, unlucky for some, about Night Game. And should we just touch on that a little bit? Why you wanted to do that? Because obviously we were in Colombia recently with Mr. Tusk, and I mean his ability in Night Game is just quite through the roof, isn't it?
Quite frankly, it's intimidating. It is for me. I just feel like I need to take a second seat to the guy. I think James just not. He's just not. James is just not comfortable if he's not in charge of the social dynamic at the time.
Yeah.
And, it just naturally takes lead. And I think he is like a natural alpha. And just seeing his charisma, and not only like that, but just seeing women fall under his spell and like crave him, like chase after him, want him.
Yeah.
It was just like just jaw dropping. Like I didn't even go to Colombia to party and stuff. I went there to get my teeth done. But I had to see you guys, and then it was unbelievable to witness. And I that's a skill that he says he learned. So I feel like if he can learn it, he can teach it, and guys would benefit massively for that. I'm 36, but I'm going on like 72. I'm done with the Night Game. I'm done with all that. Those things are like a burden to me. But to see him acting the way he did and pulling it off night after night after night, I was like, good Lord, this is a feat to witness, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he is, and for me as well, actually, because I've obviously hung out with him for some time now, and I know him, as most of us do, really, primarily as somebody who does day game, who goes and talks to women during the daytime, and and he's very good at that, and he's made his reputation on that, really. But when I first went out at night with him and I saw what he was doing in the clubs, I said to him, man, you should just change your whole brand. You should just teach Night Game, because I've never seen anybody as good at this stuff as him. And I've seen some people who are pretty good, but I've never seen anybody who's just reached quite that level as he does.
Yeah, no, and so we put together this team of people. So what I just showed you on the screen there is 20 webinars, right? So what we're actually having guys sign up for is a year membership. So I'm just going to share this real quick to show you guys exactly what you get and what the whole package is looking like here. Okay. So here, April 28th is the enrollment start time, right? So the enrollment for this Masculine Empowerment Network ends Monday night at midnight. Okay. And then starting May 3rd, we're going to go for 2 weeks to do these webinar coaching sessions. So in this section, there's 20 webinar coaching sections. In this section, there's 20 webinar coaching sections. And in this section, there's 20 webinar coaching sections. So a total of 60, right? However, if you sign up during this enrollment period, you get access to these other two completely for free. So you get 100% free access for the rest of the year. And that's 60 totaling. In addition to that, you get access to my Salt Online Dating Mastery course, where I talk you how to build a high-value Instagram, high-value dating profiles to get you all the girls that you want. We provide a 1-year annual subscription to our group Telegram chat, and you get access to all the recordings of the webinars, so you can go back and rewatch them at your leisure. And that is only $7.97. We already have over 50-something people signed up for the course.
Right. Yeah.
And more are going to be coming along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, if they get in now, then they're paying $7.97, but then they're in for the rest of the year, and you'd get to take advantage of those 60 webinars.
Yeah, and we've got some new people coming through. I'll put the schedule back up on the screen.
Okay.
There's a guy here that I linked up with in Tokyo. His name is Laurent. That's his code name. And he's talking about the money game. And Laurent is a guy who has made tens of millions of dollars in his life. And I just don't know where you can go anywhere and pay $7.97 and have a conversation with a man who's made tens of millions of dollars, and learn from him and learn from his mistakes and learn from his victories and take that information and apply it to yourself. I just don't know where you can get that, quite frankly.
And genuinely made tens of millions rather than just some pictures in front of cars and stuff social
Yeah,
media.
no Gumroad screenshots that are edited in Photoshop and all that.
So this really does cover the whole gamut, doesn't it? Because you've always had this mantra: money muscles game, and now money muscles game frame.
Yeah.
But this isn't just about meeting women. I mean, meeting women is a focal point, and it's a kind of a side effect of the other things. But this is really about just managing your shit, isn't it? It's about becoming the best possible man that you can be in the 21st century, and taking advantage of what actually is an amazing time, really, in the world, in spite of all the shit that's going on.
To be honest with you, this is how I've been living my life. I've always been in the gym, taking care of myself. I've always been financially focused, and I've always wanted to get pussy. And I was always interested on psychology and taking care of my mental health. And you know me personally, you know I'm not faking the stuff. This is stuff that I do on a day-to-day basis. I'm like had a deep inner game healing moment myself in November and December of last year. And we did the inner game healing course as well. We have like 200 plus guys in there. And, you know, I've been working on myself since I started this journey. I would say my self-improvement journey started when I was like 22. And then, you know, I've been working on myself and I continue to work on myself, you know, and I just don't think that this is something to be taken lightly if you're a guy who wants to be above average, right? I know there's guys who are okay with being mediocre, which is beyond me, but if you're a guy that wants to get above average results in money, muscles, game, and frame, which is your inner game, this is the system for you. This is the course for you. This is community for you. You're muted, buddy.
And that's an important point as well, isn't it? Because it's the community aspect of this also. Because with the Telegram group in particular, you've got access to not only yourself and the other generals who are in there, but basically this huge network of other guys who are also working on that same self-improvement journey. And they say, don't they, that the people that you surround yourself with are a key pointer to where you're going to end up success-wise, right? So you've got to be surrounding yourself, at least digitally, with people who are also working on themselves, who are on the same journey as you are.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, it's a little dark, but we see what happens to some of these PUAs that just focus on one aspect of life, which is just getting laid.
Yeah.
Later in life, they start to go crazy, like Roosh, like Mystery. You know, other situations happen with other guys.
Yeah.
But I think the kind of cat's out the bag that this ain't the way for the average guy. You know what I mean? Because if the leaders are ending up in this kind of, you know, grim outcome,
Yeah.
I don't find it to be ethical to teach that kind of stuff. And I personally, like, I'm pretty much, Troy, I'll tell you, like, I think you and I have been talking about it last year. Like, I'm pretty much over the game. You know what I mean? I'll
Yeah.
like one. I've done it all. Like, you know, I don't need to get on the internet and lie and say I had 1,400 lays, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of my content recently, I think it's almost like you go through a phase of that stuff and then you come out the other side. And so a lot of my content now really is talking about this from a, you know, somewhat slightly older guy's perspective and just saying, okay, so now what else now? What else is left? Right. But ultimately, and you can philosophize about that stuff, and that's interesting to do. But ultimately, you also want to be in a good position where you've got some money, or at least you've got some personal autonomy, right? You know, you've got the ability to work where you want, to travel. You're not tied down to some particular situation or other. And it's looking after these core fundamentals that will get you there.
Yeah. Right. For me, like, I don't know. Do you think it's a phase? I feel for me, I don't feel like this is a phase. I think I'm done. I
Oh
really
no,
feel.
no. I meant the sex side of things is a phase. I think in a way, I think that you do. It's a long phase, you know,
Yeah.
from like 19 to 18, 19, whatever, through to your late 30s. But I do think that you come out the other side, and like for me, I feel like I've really turned a corner in the last year, really, with all of this stuff. Where
How
the
so?
that of course I still want to go and meet women and have a good time and stuff, but the just the white hot desire is not there in the way that it used to be.
Mhm.
And when you reach that point, you've got to think, all right, so what else is there? Because otherwise, you're just going to end up growing a massive beard and becoming a god botherer, or you're going to you know just go nuts basically. So there's
Yeah.
got to be something else.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like I don't yeah, I just like I don't like before it would be like I'd be walking down the street and I'd be like a hungry wolf. Like, you
Yeah,
couldn't stop
yeah,
me from not approaching a girl, right? I'd be like, yo, baby, let's stop, let me meet you. Let's do this. Give me your number. I'll chase her, I'll go after her. I'll like beg her, blah, 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 whatever
yeah,
fucking, text her, double text her, triple text her. I didn't give a fuck, you know what I mean?
yeah,
As long as I got the pussy, that's all I care about, right?
yeah,
But for me, I can tell you, like, I'm clearly over that stage of my life. But
yeah,
I I I want to prevent, like, this statistic, like the NFL, like within 4 to 6 years, once guys retire from the NFL, they're completely broke. And these are guys making like tens, 20s, $30 million a year,
wow,
you know? So I
yeah,
feel like they don't have a retirement plan for those guys. So I'm trying to create like a red pill retirement plan now for the guys, like, on the other side. Because all we talk about is the red pill community is like all women are sluts. Here's how to fuck these sluts, and she's eventually going to cheat on you and ruin your life. You know?
that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. You don't need to watch Rule Zero later, guys. You got it
Yeah, that's
there.
that's the spoiler alert. But I
Yeah,
think there needs to be another side of it because and it's giving these guys, it's traumatizing these guys. It was
yeah,
fucking with me just by watching the content as a guy who was a content creator, and I needed to watch the content to get content ideas to see what everybody's talking
yeah,
about. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's the biggest thing for me. I'm in a relationship now, and I'm very happy not chasing pussy. I'm very, very happy with what I have. Like for me, the majority of the women that I've had the best sex with and spent the best time with were not complete strangers. Like
yeah,
I'm trying to even think about, like, I've been thinking about it lately, like who was like the best mind blowing like sex I had with, like, these strangers, and it wasn't. It was, the last couple of girls I've been with, I've dated all of them at least 1 year. Those have been the best sex, the best relationships, the best fun times, the best memories,
mm,
and the best fulfilling times. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's a girl I'm dating now. There's a Chinese girl before her, and there's a couple Japanese girls before her, and then there's Miss MLD. And these are all chicks that I had like good times with. But like, I fucked some girl from Kazakhstan. She was pretty hot, but like, fucked her a couple times. Meh. I had an
yeah,
off relationship with another Chinese girl. That was kind of okay, whatever. But I'm looking at the comparison and how I felt and the experiences and the good times and the good memories compared to just the random sluts. And
mm,
the ones that I had connections with were way better. The ones that I loved were way better, you know?
mm, yeah, yeah. It's always better when you've got a degree of intimacy with her because you just know each other better. It's not this kind of weird thing where you don't really know each other. You don't know each other at all, and you just sort of going through the motions. So it's definitely the problem with the manosphere is that or the men's online space, whatever you want to call it, is that things get presented in this very black and white way, don't they? It's just like, yeah, man, they're all sluts, but go and have sex with as many of them as you can, and I've
Yeah.
got 1,400 lays, and whatever. And it's just like you've got to step away from all of that stuff at some point and think, okay, but what's actually going to make me happy?
Oh, you have accepted the truth.
Exactly. And so, that's what I'm trying to tell these guys, like the real truth of it all. There's the there's the other side of the coin, which is not talked about. And I think the reason why it's not talked about is because the fucking the clicks are not good.
Yeah,
It's not sexy to talk about, like, here's how I have a happy, fulfilling, amazing, good relationship. And it's like, here's how your wife's a cheating slut. Click here.
yeah,
Right. I watched your video the other day, top 10 signs she was cheating. I watched that, and I was just like, because it was so funny because my dirty little monkey brain is like, oh, let's watch this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is really. It's like crack, isn't it? It's like they talk about chick crack. There's like crack for guys, which is like
Oh, yeah.
10 signs she's cheating, she's this, she's
Quality
that. And all the TikTok stuff that people are doing now, The black pill, really? The black pill is like chick crack for guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really? That's kind of what it comes down to.
I'm just all about being I like to be useful, and I like to make use out of my time. And so, you know, I'm trying to be as productive as possible. And so when I'm living my life, I always want to be doing. That's my personal mantra that kind of just got picked up by the internet. Money, muscles, game, frame. You know what I mean? That was just always something I've been doing my whole life. And it turned out to be, you know, obviously I'm a self-made multi-million-dollar earner. And so you know, it's helped me make $1 million several times. So there's got to be some kind of validity to what I've been doing. That, or it's complete luck, which I doubt it, you know, because I've replicated these success in multiple members in the Masculine Empowerment Network. And that's what the Masculine Empowerment Network is all about. I think you're muted again, bud.
Absolutely, yes. So there's a question here from Thoughtful Bodybuilder, and he says, what percentage of time and energy should men dedicate to money, look, status, and game at different ages, from early 20s to 40s?
100%. Like, what else are you doing? Like,
I suppose he means what, like, how do you break down the percentages?
I mean, you know, I try to make money every day. I try to do some sort of physical fitness activity every day, whether it be going to my personal trainer or going for a walk outside or taking my dog for a walk. I eat healthy very often. You know, I study things about cryptocurrency at least weekly. You know, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that I'm involved in. You know, right now I'm watching Selling Sunset with my girlfriend, and we are enjoying it, but also it's like giving me content ideas to talk about certain types of toxic women.
Is there a new series of that out? Is the new season?
Yeah, I just finished it, bro. It's great. It's great.
I quite enjoyed it in the past. I watched it.
I love it, dude. I am addicted to that show. Do you hate Christine?
Oh yeah, she's annoying as hell, man.
She's a nutbag, isn't she?
Yeah. I'll watch the new. I'll watch the new season, and we can do some. We can exchange notes.
I've been thinking about a way to do some commentary on it because it's just so many red pills in that. And you know, those little guys, the twins, they're worth $50 million each. Those guys are balling.
She was seeing one of them, wasn't she, for a bit though?
Which one?
Was it Krista? What's her name?
So Jason was fucking Mary, and then they broke up.
Yeah.
And then Michelle is dating Jason now.
Right, okay. Because she got dumped on the show, didn't she? She got dumped by her ex-husband or something.
Chriselle did.
Yeah.
Well, you know, those eggs dried up, man. It's game over. You know.
Well, indeed. I mean, she's the kind of girl. She was probably really, really hot like years ago, and she's still attractive, but she's just not weathering the storm that well, is she? Really, unfortunately.
Heather's my girl, man. Heather is Heather is smoke show, dude. That's the kind of girl. But you know, looking at that kind of stuff, right? Even when I'm enjoying that show, I'm looking at real estate ideas. I'm looking at monetization. I'm thinking about the business side of it for the Oppenheimer brothers. And you know, it's just a lifestyle. To answer the guy in the chat, it's just a lifestyle. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't. It's very hard to break it down to specific percentages, isn't it? I mean, what people will often say is, okay, so I'm in my 20s. How much time should I be spending doing game as opposed to building a career or building a business or that sort of activity? And the truth is, really, you need to be doing all of it. You need to be doing all of it at the same time. Because I do think the old build it and they will come strategy of, well, just get really successful in your 20s and then the women will come, doesn't really work because, and even if it does work, you're just going to end up getting ripped off by some girl or some gold digger or whatever, right? So you've got to be practicing your social skills, but also you've got to be building a career at the same time. I mean, there's no shortcuts. You've got to be doing it all.
And for me, so it's just like at this point, for you as well, right? Like when I was watching in Bogota, it's just unconscious competence that you have when it comes to picking up women, talking to girls, getting them to dance with you, having a fun old time, right? And same thing for me. It's just like unconscious competence into taking care of myself, studying daily, you know, focusing on what I want to do with my business, growing, making more money, investments. You know, I'm looking into real estate heavy right now.
Right.
And that's just kind of thing. But I guess like I don't know. I've kind of been a little detached from the normal person recently because I've been just living my own personal life, you know, up in my high tower and away from society. And, isolating myself in a good way. I kind of forget what the average person is like and how often they waste their time and stuff. So for this guy, I would like to ask him, thoughtful bodybuilder, type in the chat, like, what's your day-to-day like? What are you doing what's taking up your time that you're not pursuing money, looks, status, and game? I would like to know what you're doing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if you're still around to let us know, man, because I think the reality is, I think a lot of people waste a lot of time.
Yes.
And for people of our mindset, and I'm not blowing smoke up our asses because we're just, whatever, we're just regular guys. But like for me personally, I am pretty much always in one form or another, I'm working on one of those things.
Right.
I spend a lot of time working. I spend a lot of time, I'll do some, believe it or not, I will do some sort of fitness thing pretty much every day. I will, obviously I'm interested in sort of trying to look sharp, trying to look decent. So I'll spend some time with that. I'm always, or I'll be reading or I'll be researching something that could be of value to me or to the business or to ideas going forward. You're always doing something. Now, I do also watch a little bit of TV. I watch a bit of Selling Sunset or whatever. I have times when I'm vegging out, chilling out, but that is very much the minority of the time. That's like at the end of the day, really tired, stick something on TV, watch that for an hour or whatever. But most of the time, I'm working on one of these core facets, and that's just how my life is, because I enjoy that stuff, right? And that's, I think, what you got to get to. You've got to enjoy it.
Yeah, like I really respect your work ethic, and I really I just love watching your videos when you're walking through, because I've never been to London and I want to go. But just like seeing you walk to the streets and chat, and I just like you as a person. I like listening to what you have to say, I like your philosophy on things. And thank you, you're welcome. No, it's very true too. And that's the great thing about the Masculine Empowerment Network, is because guys like who are also leaders in this community, we're all the same. We're all a team of 20 plus leaders in this community that are focusing on money, muscles, game, frame. We all like money. We all like women. We all like being in physical fit shape, and we all like taking care of our psychological health and, understanding what are healthy mental models for us, unhealthy, calming our anxieties. Troy, you're completely sober. You don't do drugs. You don't do alcohol. I'm not the same as you saw. Yeah. But
we've all got our own journey with that stuff.
Yeah, I do not feel bad about
not at all, man.
All that fucking MDMA. I had a blast. I had a fucking blast. But I respect that side of you. And after the MDMA, what I didn't tell you about the anxiety and fucking freaking out I was having on the plane. And
man, I mean that's the thing that I don't miss, because the come downs of that stuff is, I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Mr. Tusk is obviously either he's made of like some kind of superhuman material, or I think he has his dark nights of the soul, though. I think.
No, I just think he's always high.
He's just in about 5 years, he's just going to have this massive come down. It's going to last for about 16 years. But I think you made an interesting point just before about isolating yourself. And I'm not encouraging guys to isolate, but I think that to some extent and this is again why community is so valuable. You've got to get yourself away from the herd a little bit. Yes. Because the one difference with me is I've got a lot of friends in London and elsewhere, and obviously internationally, like you guys and stuff. But I'm not in the usual sort of conventional social circles where it's like, oh, let's go and meet Steve and Joe at the weekend and we'll go to the pub and then we'll do blah, blah, blah. We'll watch the sport or whatever. Like I've arranged my life in such a way that it's very focused on the goals that I have and the stuff that I want to do. I'm not really, I have friends, I'll go and see people, I'll go out for a meal with somebody or whatever, but it's sort of compartmentalized. Do you know what I mean? I think if you're hanging out with people from school or university still, and you're all doing this sort of same shit, Sunday afternoon barbecues and stuff like that, you're not going to have any time. So you've got to be kind of careful about who you're hanging out with and who you're spending your time with, really.
Yeah. That's another thing about the Masculine Empowerment Network, right? Look, my favorite law of 48 laws of power is?
Which one?
What do you think it is?
Don't outshine the master.
I'm very bad at doing that. That's why I always make fun of Rollo. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky.
Yes.
That is the number one thing I do in life, because I notice that's the number one thing to pull you down. And so for me, I learned in 2019, right? I made a commitment to myself. I said, if anybody makes me feel tired, if anybody makes me feel negative, if anybody drains me, because I just had been dealing with this in my personal life. This wasn't like an epiphany. I was just like, I'm just fucking sick of these people. I said, I'm not going to spend time with them. I hung out with two people that year, Charlie from Cultivate Crypto and Miss MLD, right?
Yeah.
And so right there, those two people loved me and supported me, and still do to this day. And that was the year I had my first breakthrough financially, getting the business through and everything. And then from there, I realized, after meeting mentors and people who have made, because I have one mentor who's made $100 million+ in one deal. And
Right.
he told me, like, he stays away from negative people. He stays away from shitty people. And, you know, it's just not not a very advantageous thing to hang around with shitty people. So in the Masculine Empowerment Network, you get to create your own echo chamber, your positivity echo chamber of red pilled guys with red pilled leaders giving you information through the red pill lens. So how to make money through the red pill lens, how to make muscles through the red pill lens, game through the red pill lens, frame through the red pill lens. It cuts all the mainstream media bullshit out and from the middle, and gives you the unfiltered raw truth, which you can use to improve your life immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's a very real point to this, isn't there? Because most of mainstream society is going to try to pull you down in some way. And it's not even necessarily like a really bad way. It's just that most people, like Tusk, for example, obviously he travels the whole time. He has a blast. He also makes decent money. You know, he's got a successful YouTube channel, etc. But he often will talk about how his friends back home just don't get it. You know, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing? Why haven't you settled down? Why don't you have a, you know, why aren't you working in a finance job in the city?" They just don't understand it. And it's not because they're terrible people. It's just because they just don't get it, and that's not how they've constructed their lives. So, and obviously he's traveling, so he's out of the way anyway. But he's almost had to remove himself from those people for the most part in order to do what he's doing. And I mean, you know, ultimately, who's going to be having the better time? Who's having the more successful time, right?
Right, exactly. And that's kind of the same thing with me, is when I made my, when I made my decision to like go my own way and just forge my own path. My mates back home, still, I'm 36, literally 18 years since we've graduated high school, still doing the same fucking thing, man. Smoking weed, playing video games, getting fat, jerking off to porn, striking out with girls. It's depressing. When I go back home, I'm like the celebrity. They're like, tell me your stories, tell me what's going on, how'd you do this, how'd you do this? And
Yeah.
I just keep on seeing them living that sad life, and I was just like, yikes, man. I don't know, I can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So R. Sid says, I have to be mostly inside for the nature of my work. I'm an artist and doing very well financially, working on gigs like NFT projects. How do I socialize and learn game? Well, I don't know, man. I mean, there's got to be some opportunities to go out, right? Even if it's just half an hour to go down to the coffee shop. I mean, you know, you've got to start making opportunities and stop making excuses for yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and then the answer is right in front of you. You just said you're very well financially. Join the Masculine Empowerment Network. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 experts giving presentation about game. No, 6. Sorry, 6 presentations about game. So you can come in there, ask your questions, and then you can apply the information that they give you in the real life, take the results, bring it back to the Telegram chat, say, this is what I did, these are the results I've had, what's next? And then you'll be able to continue to grow and develop and learn these things, because at this rate, if you're very financially well off and you have no game, you're just a target for a crappy woman out there. Bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. And game doesn't need to take that long. It's a misconception that you need to be spending hours and hours doing it. It really shouldn't. It should just be something that you do as a part of your everyday life. It should literally be I'm going down to Starbucks to buy a coffee. I'm on the way to Starbucks. I see an attractive girl, have a conversation with her, get a phone number, go home. That's it. It should take 5 minutes out of your day, you know.
When you, oh, sorry.
Yeah, that was it.
So I was gonna say, like, when you take care of yourself, right? For example, I went out to have lunch after the gym today, right?
Yeah.
With my girlfriend, and we're sitting there, and I just sit down, and I just take care of myself. You know, I'm good looking. I have charisma. I'm like I have a certain aura about me that when I am around people, and I remember just sitting down, and there was this Japanese girl sitting across from me at a table, and she just makes eye contact with me, stares at me way longer than she should, smiles at me, waves at me. And, you know, there's an opportunity right there. You just got to be able to be brave enough to take these opportunities because, like, you know, it cracks me up. Guys would say to me, where should I go to meet women? Just step outside your front door. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally everywhere, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was in a coffee shop recently in London, and I was sitting there, and I wasn't even in a particularly social mood, to be honest. I was waiting for them to make the coffee, and this girl was there, and she was looking for a plug to plug her phone in. So I was just like, do you know what? I'll be the good Samaritan. I was like, you can. I had this charger. I was like, you can use this charger if you want. And we got chatting, and at first I didn't even really want to talk to her because I was just like, I was in a pretty bad mood. I was like, I don't really, whatever. Anyway, we got chatting and I realized she was quite cute. And so in the end, we ended up exchanging numbers. But it wasn't some crazy kind of like, oh, what game did you use? What line did you use? It was very, very organic, really. And I think the reason was partly, obviously, because I practiced this stuff a hell of a lot in my time. But also, obviously, presented quite well, groomed quite well, whatever, and just stepping outside the house. And that opportunity came along. So it's, as long as you've got your fundamentals down and you've got a little bit of social savvy about you, you're going to be okay.
It's not that hard. It's just the guy's overcomplicated in their mind.
Yeah.
And honestly, I say this all the time. Like, girls have no self-respect these days, dude. They will give their pussy away so quickly. It is like, have you find it gotten easier and easier as we get older? Like, I feel like these girls just have zero respect for themselves. They just give the pussy up so quickly.
I think it's easier, but also I don't care as much, and so therefore perhaps it's just the less that you care, the more you attract in a way. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, definitely. I mean, that's what I mean. As much as you've got all these doomers who go on about how terrible everything is, actually, the reality is this is one of the best times to live as a single guy or as a guy in a relationship. But let's say as a single guy, meeting women, making your own money, traveling, having a great time. It's an amazing time to be alive if you can take advantage of these skills.
Yeah. So Sid, go use Troy's link in the chat right here and click that right there. It says join men. Click on that. Get in. Start talking to us, man. You say you're doing well financially. You say you got some cash. Come, we'll sort you out. You'll get to the point that me and Troy are at. When you get so much pussy, it just like sends you into an existential crisis.
Yeah, it'll be great to see you on the inside though, Sid. So go through the link. I mean, if you've got any questions, give me a shout.
Yeah. The enrollment's closing on Monday at midnight, so your time is limited. You get, like I said, when you sign up, you get access to the Telegram chat for a year. You get to link up with real people across the world. We usually have 100+ members in there, and we get towards 300 towards the end of the year. You get access to my online dating course, which teaches you how to maximize your online dating and how to build a high-profile Instagram so that you can get high-quality girls into your life. Number 3, you get access to 60 webinar training sessions that focus on money, muscles, game frame. These are all done live. They are recorded. And if you have questions during the presentation, after the presentation, you can ask the speaker directly. So your personal question will be answered. In addition to that, you get access to the continuous growing database of all the webinars, right? Dating back to 2019, and you get access to the online forum. It's only $7.97. It is the investment of a lifetime, and it is absolutely the solution for the average man out there, without a shadow of a doubt.
Definitely, and as you said, or just to reiterate, that's $7.97. If you join this quarter, then that gives you access to the further two enrollments later this year, which will mean that you'll get access to 60 new webinars, basically, which is pretty mind-blowing.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So that's what we got. That's pretty much all I got to say, I think.
Good stuff, man. Good to see you as always. Well, we're going to be back a bit later, aren't we, for Rule Zero, which I think is on Ryan's, right?
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about, well, what else really, but Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, which is going to be fun. So make sure to join us over there, guys. Thanks ever so much, John, for coming on. Awesome as always. We will be catching up in person again in Miami very soon. So looking forward to that for the Conference of Masculine Excellence. Join the Masculine Empowerment Network now. You've got until Monday at midnight. That is the link. Go to that link, go through and get involved before it's too late. Don't miss out this time. We'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.